Welcome to Henderson Library's Home Edition. My name is Miss Nicole, and I'm so happy you're joining me for Virtual Little Makers today. So normally when we do this program, we have different centers around the room and read a book. But since we're all virtual, it's going to be a little different. I'm going to read us a fun book, we're going to do a science experiment, and we're going to do a craft because it's a preschool STEAM program, which is science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Our book today is called The Dot from Peter Reynolds, and it is one of my absolute favorites, so I hope you guys like it too. All right, The Dot. Art class was over, but Vashti sat glued to her chair, and her paper was empty. Vashti's teacher leaned over the blank paper. "Ah, a polar bear in the snow," she said. "Very funny," said Vashti. "I just can't draw." Her teacher smiled. "Just make a mark and see where it takes you." So Vashti grabbed a marker and gave the paper a good, strong jab. There. Her teacher picked up the paper and studied it carefully. She pushed the paper toward Vashti quietly and said, "Now sign it." So Vashti thought for a moment, well, maybe I can't draw, but I can sign my name. So she writes her name. The next week, when Vashti walked into art class, she was surprised to see what was hanging above her teacher's desk. It was the little dot she had drawn, her dot, all framed in a swirly gold. I can make a better dot than that. So she opened her never-before-used set of watercolors and got to work. She painted and painted a red dot, a purple dot, a yellow dot, a blue dot. She mixed the blue with the yellow, and she discovered she could make a green dot. She's mixing right there. Vashti kept experimenting, lots of little dots in many colors. If I can make little dots, I bet I can make big dots too. So Vashti splashed her colors with a bigger brush on bigger paper to make bigger dots. She even made a dot by not making a dot, which looks super cool all outlined. At the school art show a few weeks later, Vashti's many dots made quite the splash. She's got a whole bunch of colorful ones and small ones and large ones. They're really cool dots. She noticed a little boy gazing up at her. "You're a really great artist." "I wish I could draw," he said. "I bet you can," said Vashti. "Me? No, not me. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler." "Neither can I." Vashti smiled. She handed the boy a blank sheet of paper. "Show me." The boy's pencil shook as he drew his line. Vashti looked at the boy's squiggle, and then she said, "Please sign it." Because when you're an artist, you want to sign all of your artwork. Okay, now it is time for our science experiment. So today's science experiment is called the erupting lemon. So what you're gonna need for it is you're gonna need a lemon. Grown-ups, you're gonna want to help cut them in half. So I have half of a lemon today. And you're gonna need some sort of bowl to put it in so that when it erupts over, it doesn't get all over your table. You're gonna need some baking soda, some dish liquid, some food coloring, and I have a popsicle stick, or you can use a spoon because we're gonna need to kind of mush up into our lemon a little bit. So once you have your lemon all cut up and in your bowl, I'm gonna use my popsicle stick today. I'm just gonna kind of stab inside my lemon a little bit. That way you can get the juice looser in there so that it reacts the way we want it to. So that should be good. Okay, then once you do that, you're gonna take your food coloring and just put little dots around it. You don't want it to mix too much, so I got a little bit of green. Ooh, gets a little bit messy, this one. Then I've got some red. I think I'm just gonna do those two today. I don't think I'm gonna use blue. Okay, so then it's gonna look all sorts of funny in there. Then you're gonna take some dish liquid and you're just gonna pour it on. You don't have to use the dish liquid, but it helps make it extra bubbly, which makes it extra fun. Then I'm gonna use my spoon for this. I'm gonna take your baking soda. This is where it's gonna get really messy as long as it works today. And you're gonna put it all on top And you can kind of mix it in a little bit, and you can see it starts getting all foamy and colorful. And you can take your popsicle stick and really mix it in so it looks all kind of gross and cool. And sometimes, if you have an extra juicy lemon, or if you have extra lemon juice, you can put it on there and you get this really cool mess of foam and lemon juice, and it even smells good. All right, so like I said, this is a little bit messy, so please be careful doing this at home, but the food coloring will eventually wash off. All right, now it is time for our art activity. Because we just read the dot, we're gonna do something today that are called Kandinsky circles. So he was a famous artist, and he made all sorts of circles, so I'm gonna show you 2 ways to do it. The first way is gonna be like this, where you can layer paper to make the circles. And the second way is gonna be by drawing, or you can paint it, however you guys wanna do it. So you're gonna need some crayons or markers, some glue, some scissors, and some paper. If you don't have different colored paper, you can just use plain white and just color all your layers instead. So for mine today, I'm going to use some pink as the background for it. Then I have, once I open my glue, a plain white circle that's already cut out. So that's gonna be my very first circle in mine today. Now I'm gonna just put it right into somewhat the center of my pink paper. Then I think I'm gonna use some green. And when you cut out your circles, they don't have to be perfect circles. Mine definitely are not. And it's more fun when they're a little wiggly. So let's see. So there is my green. You can see it's not very circular. And you wanna make sure it's gonna actually fit in your circle. So before you glue it, make sure it actually fits in there. All right, then you can glue that one in. So now you have your next layer. Then I'm going to use this pretty light blue. Let's see. Too big. See, that's why you gotta make sure. All right, it's much smaller this time, and that looks like it'll fit. Just put some glue on there. I'm gonna put that in the center, and I'm gonna add one more layer into mine. I'm gonna add a black circle for the very center. I just need a little circle, well, a roundish shape anyway, of it. And that's gonna go right in my center. So this is what my finished layered one looks like. And like we read in our book, because we're artists, we have to sign our artwork. So I'm gonna get out a crayon, and I'm just gonna write it over here. Miss Nicole. And you can see they all end up looking sort of different. This one kind of reminds me of a cool dragon eye, and this one just is a really cool mix of colors. So that's how you do your layered paper one. So for your other one, you'll just need a blank piece of paper. I've already drawn an example on mine, but you can fold it in half, and then you can fold it into thirds. That way when you open it all up, you're gonna have 6 squares for it, because when you draw 6 different ones all together, it looks really cool. So this is the one I already did, but I wanna make a different one today. So I think I'm gonna do let's see. I'm gonna do a purple center this time, but I'm gonna make it bigger than the other one. That way they're not the same. I'm gonna start with that big purple center. And let's see. Then we're gonna use this green, blue, tealish color and go around it. And this one, I'm gonna not entirely color in so that my circle has some cool designs in it. Then I'm gonna make one giant circle of yellow, and I'm gonna color that one in. Now, if you decide to use paint for these, you're gonna wanna be careful to not use too much paint that you don't soak through your paper, because I've done that before and it gets really messy. So this is what it looks like now, and because you can leave the background black or white or whatever color paper you have, but I'm gonna do mine gray today. I'm just gonna color right around it. All right. And because, like I said, I didn't want it to be exactly the same, I didn't color it fully in there so that they look different, and then you were able to keep going and have a beautiful piece of work. But like I said, because we're artists, we have to sign it. So I'm just gonna sign in a square that I didn't fill in yet. I'm just gonna put Miss Nicole. That way we know it is my artwork. All right, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you guys had a good time, and we'll see you next time, okay?